Wat je doorziet. Hoe lang gaan die nou aan met haar, Charlotte? Als je niet meer kan zeggen, hoe ga ik het slaan? Wat ga ik doen als alles uitkomt?
Adult people were in a house where a little girl was brutally injured, hour by hour.
I should have taken an unlicensed firearm and I should have gone in that gate and said, listen, mother, give me this child, otherwise I'm going to shoot you.
Deserted, damaged, neglected. This house resembles the story of its last occupants. No traces of a family that was once happy here. Only the echoes of a 2-year-old's cries, fighting for her life against an adult man with her mother nearby. While sentencing is pending in the murder trial of Chevonne Rusch, the events that unfolded here in May 2022 remain veiled in mystery. It is really eerie being at this property 2 years after Chevonne's murder, and we know that critical events happened behind this window in the bathroom. But what's more, it's understood that several incidents of severe child abuse took place on this property and have never come to light. 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Bradley Rusch had 3 children. Siobhan was the youngest. When Bradley and Rochelle broke up, she started dating Siobhan van Niekerk. Wrong move, according to her friends and family.
Siobhan isolated Rochelle from her family.
Rochelle's lifelong friend, 𝗀𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗆, discovered that Siobhan was abusive when she saw marks on Siobhan's 4-year-old brother's body.
Every time there was a mark on Siobhan's brother's body, Siobhan always had the excuse or reason why that mark was there.
𝗀𝗏𝗏 and Rochelle's family did confront Siobhan. He evaded them until his abuse of the 4-year-old little boy escalated to extreme brutality.
His backside was black, blue, purple, horrifically. That it gelyk asof if you touched it, it would pop. I mean, they cut him on the head with a angle grinder.
To save Rochelle's son's life, 𝗀𝗏𝗏 reached out to the authorities.
I went to the child welfare in 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏. They turned me away. They said that due to jurisdictional laws, there was nothing that they could do. I then went to Childline Gauteng, which is the whole of Gauteng. They directed me to 10111. I couldn't get through. I was saying to God, please, God, just one person to hear our cry for help.
Finally, a police officer went to the house, but stayed outside the gates.
He said to me, okay, I know the place now, but there is a procedure to follow. That just hit me like I'm at a dead end again. It was like me bashing into the wall. I just want this child removed with immediate effect, like right now. Break through the gate and grab this child.
Undeterred, Siobhan turned on Siobhan too. She suffered violent abuse and severe neglect. At the beginning of May, without any explanation, she was dropped off at Siobhan's brother's house nearby.
Sy was in 'n waglike toestand toe ek haar gevind het, ontmoet het.
When 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, a beauty therapist from Boksburg, visited the brother's house, she met Siobhan for the first time, and she could see something was very wrong. En wat het jy opgetel, hoe was Siobhan?
Siobhan was definitief in pyn gewees. Dit was nie net haar kop en haar gesig, dit was haar lyf gewees. Ek meen haar lippie het so gestaan. Ek het haar net in hierdie kleertjies gekry.
It was midwinter and the child was dressed in shorts.
Dis wat ek toe besluit, ek gaan hierdie kind toe na huis toe neem.
With bruises covering Siobhan's body, Chanel knew that drastic intervention was called for.
Sy het net geskree. Die enigste tyd wat sy opgehou skree het, is die aand toe sy gaan slaap het, toe ek haar rustig gekry het. Selfs toe ek haar gebad het, sy het vreeslik geskree.
Taking photos of Siobhan's injuries, Chanel reached out to Childline.
Ek het vir hulle e-mails gestuur, ek het vir hulle foto's gestuur en ek het hulle gevra om net te gaan kyk. En ek het ook vir hulle genoem dat hulle gou moet maak want daar's ander 2 kinders ook wat ek bewus van is.
Chanel returned Siobhan to 𝗀𝗏𝗄's family, expecting her evidence to mobilize the authorities. All she received was an automated email from Childline redirecting her to the police and welfare. All the while, Siobhan's abuse worsened. Four days later, she was killed.
As iemand uitgegaan het, as iemand iets gedoen het, dan was sy vandag hierso gewees.
Are bureaucratic hurdles preventing authorities from saving children in real danger? Putting ourselves in the shoes of an ordinary person, we search online for the nearest police station to our filming location. What can I do if my neighbour is beating their child?
You must go to the social workers.
But what if I know that it was happening this morning? That child is getting black and blue.
I don't know whether they hear me or not. They know the procedure.
Child welfare expert Dr. Joan van Niekerk says the police should intervene regardless of jurisdiction.
Police instructions are you may not turn anybody who reports a case of child abuse, sexual abuse in particular, away. It happens all the time because they don't know what else to do.
It seems that's exactly what happened in Siobhan's case.
Our police training is now cut down to a year. What a police person can learn in that year in terms of how they manage situations of domestic violence, they cannot learn all of that in a year.
So how do I get hold of the social worker? Do you have a number for me or a name of somebody?
No, you go there by SASA.
SASA office is not involved in child protection matters. They deal with grants. To refer a child protection issue to them is ridiculous.
Following the police's directions, we proceed to SASA's office.
Regarding what? If I have a case of child abuse that I need to report to, I don't know, they said 3rd floor.
We're sent from pillar to post in this building, no urgency to help us, mirroring the barriers in reporting Siobhan's case. So now I must go downstairs. Is it 2nd floor, not 3rd floor? Hi, how are you?
Good point.
And are you a social worker?
Yes.
If I need to report a case of child abuse.
Oh, 1st floor.
If there's one thing this experience has taught me, it's that you're pretty much on your own when it comes to trying to report child abuse. And if you don't have the resources, whether that's transport or airtime, the case can simply fall through the cracks and another child could end up dead. Even after death, the system continued to fail Siobhan. There were 4 people inside the house when she was killed: Stefan, Rochelle, and 2 of Stefan's friends.
There were 4 people in a house where a little girl died. I would have liked to get them all in the dock, you know, to see them explain to the court what happened in that house that night. But it didn't happen.
Former cop 𝗀𝗏𝗄𝗏, now heading the Purple Foundation for Abused Children, played a pivotal role in the investigation. In her view, the police procrastinated.
There were ball playing on who should take this case now. And most of the WhatsApp messages that were screenshotted in this matter was in Afrikaans. And then eventually the case was handed to the IO, a young police constable, female constable, who could not speak one word Afrikaans.
After hours of abuse, Siobhan had lost consciousness. Stefan and one of his 2 friends in the house took the child to the Vandenberg clinic on the East Rand. Stefan told staff that Siobhan had drowned. If it weren't for staff at this clinic, there might not even have been a murder case. Staff could tell from her multiple severe injuries something terrible had been done to her. The clinic called the police and Stefan was arrested, but on an outstanding warrant for another crime. It's only when public pressure mounted that a murder docket was opened for Siobhan. Annerie literally moved into the police station to assist the investigation.
I brought my printer. I called the Afrikaans witnesses to come and meet at the police station. Their statements were taken. We were really actively involved in getting the job done.
The place is neatened up a bit. You know, there was a lot of furniture and stuff there and cupboards and things. The police never treated this like a crime scene.
Meanwhile, Kayla found 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀's 2 friends still residing in the house days after the murder. Police detectives visited the crime scene after 8 days for the first time. They didn't even take photos. Annerie took some evidence on her phone.
I saw a pillow, and it was clear for me there were blood on the pillow. I saw spats against the wall, and I was like, Colonel, we need to get the forensic team here.
Forensics weren't with you?
No. And he was saying to me, no, because the scene is old. It's been contaminated already. And he didn't want to. If the forensics were there, I can guarantee you, now, there would have been 4 suspects, 4 guilty findings, 4 sentences.
Initially, only 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀 was in custody. Siobhan's body lay in the mortuary for nearly a month. Annerie showed us evidence that Rochelle had sold Siobhan's clinic card after her birth. The child was never properly registered. When a funeral was finally held for her in the mortuary's chapel, her mother sat on the stairs outside.
She was sitting with me outside, and she didn't want to go in. And at that stage, it was strange for me because I'm sitting with a woman that I know is lying. I could not say that she herself has hurt her child, but I knew she was there, and I know she did very little to protect her daughter.
The experts say if a mother witnessed such torture and did nothing, she is viewed as a perpetrator.
Mommy, help me. Mommy, please.
This is a voice recording of Rochelle the night after the murder.
As ek gou skreeu, Stefan, hou nou op. Ek was ignoreer gewees.
Police finally arrested Rochelle after 3 months. The 2 friends were only called as witnesses, as police never linked them to any of the crimes.
When the judge read that the witnesses testified, they heard a gluk-gluk sound from the bathroom, and I was thinking, you did nothing. You could have saved her.
Rochelle and 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀 were found guilty on charges of murder and rape. Siobhan's story echoes that of countless children failed by a system that was meant to protect them. Every adult bears a duty to report child abuse, but the question remains, to whom?
Die laaste week van haar lewe het sy bad gehad, sy het kossies gehad, sy was warm, sy het tot daarmee gehad, sy het ook 'n 𝗵𝗴𝗃 gehad. Ek het haar die hele tyd vasgehou.
Inevitably, there will be another body bag with a child brutally killed. We see it every day. It's getting worse. So when are we going to charge those witnesses but did nothing as adults to save the child?